Have you ever wondered why some people seem determined to test your patience? What if every difficult person in your life wasn't just a problem, but a teacher? And what if the way you respond to them is the real lesson life is trying to teach? Let's be honest. Dealing with people isn't always a walk in the park. They lie, they cheat, they throw curveballs when you least expect it. And sometimes it feels like the world is full of walking contradictions whose sole mission is to complicate your day. But here's where Stoicism steps in. Not as a shield to block the chaos, but as a compass to navigate it. Marcus Aurelius, the philosopher king and pillar of Stoic wisdom, believed that our interactions with others are not accidents, they're assignments. He taught that being patient, staying kind, and understanding people, especially when it's hardest, is not just a virtue, it's our life's work. Every encounter is an invitation to respond, not react, to rise, not retreat. So how do we hold our ground when others test it? How do we keep our cool when someone else is losing theirs? This isn't about building walls. It's about building wisdom. Because true Stoic strength doesn't come from avoiding people, it comes from growing through them. In this episode, we'll walk through the Stoic toolkit, packed with timeless, practical ways to turn relationship friction into fuel for inner growth. Whether it's navigating family drama, dealing with that colleague who knows just how to push your buttons, or simply learning to breathe before you break, Stoicism has the map. And here's something you might not expect. Those who live by these ancient principles often discover something beautiful, not just resilience, but joy. A kind of quiet strength that stays with you even when everything else is falling apart. This path isn't just about surviving people. It's about evolving because of them. So pause for a moment. Breathe. Think of one person who triggers you the most. Now imagine responding to them from a place of calm power instead of stress. That's the shift we're making today. If this resonates with you, pass it on. Someone else might need the same stillness too. Let's ease into the next part, where we'll explore the first key lesson: how to care less about opinions and more about what truly matters. From learning to care less about opinions, we now move to something even more powerful: living honestly, even when it's hard. You see, these daily encounters with all sorts of people, they're not setbacks, they're stages. Stages where you get to rise, to shine through the fog of deceit, and to stand tall in who you are. Imagine a lighthouse, unmoving, steady, glowing in the middle of a raging sea. That's what honesty looks like in a chaotic world. A quiet defiance. A powerful calm. Choosing to be honest doesn't mean you won't be tested. In fact, you'll probably be tested more. But it also means you won't be lost. Because each time you choose truth over ease, integrity over comfort, you are reminding yourself and the world that something better exists. Honesty, rare as it might seem, is like a gem. It shines brighter because it's uncommon. And that shine can guide others out of darkness too. So yes, it's hard. But when you speak truthfully, when you choose to act with sincerity in a world that sometimes rewards the opposite, you're not just defending your peace, you're setting a tone. A tone for a life that matters, for relationships built on trust, for moments that feel real. And just when you think you've got the hang of honesty, here comes the next curveball. People taking things the wrong way, or worse, you taking things personally. Let's paint the picture. Your coffee spills. You miss an important call and someone throws a careless comment your way. It stings, feels personal. But what if it wasn't? Here's the Stoic insight. Most of what others do isn't about you at all. That sarcasm, that snub, chances are it's not you they're reacting to. It's their stress, their baggage, their bad morning. And remembering this can change everything. Think about a time you snapped. Were you trying to hurt someone? Probably not. You were tired, frustrated, off balance, just like the person you're facing now. This small shift in perspective, this simple act of saying, maybe it's not about me, is the doorway to empathy. Instead of clenching your jaw or firing back, try pausing, breathe. Ask yourself, have I ever felt like them? If the answer's yes, and it usually is, you've just unlocked a more peaceful way of being. And it doesn't stop there. Let's talk patience. Not the kind where you wait in line for coffee. I mean the deeper kind, the strength to hold your ground, while the world spins recklessly around you. In a world where everyone's in a hurry, cutting corners and looking for shortcuts, being patient is radical. Because when you choose patience, you're choosing awareness over impulse. You're not letting the chaos drag you along. You're watching, breathing, and choosing your moment. That's power. That's presence. And from that presence, we'll flow into the next lesson. A reminder that every reaction is a chance to return to your calm center. And as we anchor ourselves in patience, a question naturally arises. Why does it matter so much in a world obsessed with speed? Here's why. Because in the whirlwind of instant gratification, true strength lies in stillness. Picture yourself as the calm eye of the storm, everything around you spinning, unpredictable, yet there you are, grounded. When everyone else reacts, you respond. When others rush, you wait. And that waiting, it's not weakness, it's wisdom. Patience is more than a virtue, it's a signal, a quiet, steady light that says, I know who I am. I know what I'm here for. Just like a lighthouse piercing through a foggy night, your presence becomes a guide not only for yourself, but for others drifting in the dark. This doesn't mean you let people walk over you. It means you see beyond the surface, give things space to unfold, and choose actions that align not just with the now, but with the future you want to create. It's strength wrapped in stillness. Start small. The next time you're in traffic and someone cuts you off, breathe. When a friend rambles and you're in a rush, pause. These are your training grounds. In these simple, mundane moments, your character is quietly being shaped, because patience, when practiced daily, becomes your secret power. The kind of strength that doesn't shout, but is felt deeply by everyone around you. And from this foundation, another Stoic pillar rises, leading by example. Think back to a time when you saw someone help a stranger without expecting praise. A quiet act of goodness that left a lasting impression. That's the essence of Stoicism. Not loud, not flashy, just powerful in its purity. Being a living example isn't about performing, it's about being. When you embody your values through calm in chaos, kindness in conflict, and resilience in rejection, you create ripples. Your simple, grounded actions might inspire someone else to do the same, and they inspire someone else. And just like that, change begins. In today's world, where attention is scattered and noise is everywhere, being a steady light matters more than ever. Every time you choose to listen instead of interrupt, to stay grateful even when things are tough, to face difficulty with quiet courage, you're shaping the kind of world we all want to live in. You're showing that Stoicism isn't a philosophy to read about. It's a way to live. And as you live it, those around you begin to feel it. You lift others simply by standing firm in your values. Progress, not perfection. That's the path. Every small choice to live with integrity builds a legacy of inspiration far beyond what you can see. And speaking of inspiration, let's address the one thing that can dim even the brightest example: criticism. In the next part, we'll learn how to tune out the haters and stay rooted in your truth. We've talked about being an example, but what happens when your example is met with criticism, doubt, or worse, silence? Let's face it, the world can be noisy. Negativity swirls around us. Sometimes it screams. Other times, it whispers in your own voice, "You're not enough. You can't do this. Why even try?" But here's a timeless truth from the Stoics. Tune it out. Imagine slipping on a pair of invisible headphones, the kind that block out the noise and let only truth flow through. Picture yourself walking your path with calm clarity, your favorite inner anthem playing, while the chaos fades into background static. It's not denial, it's discipline. Just like Cicero's dry humor about someone living as if inside Plato's perfect republic, despite being surrounded by corruption and decay. That's the Stoic mindset. You don't pretend the world isn't messy. You just don't let it mess with your inner compass. Because the real power lies not in silencing others, but in strengthening your response. When things fall apart, when voices try to pull you down, that's your cue to stand even taller. As Marcus Aurelius put it so clearly, you do the right thing, the rest doesn't matter. This isn't about arrogance, it's about clarity, about knowing that your worth isn't up for debate. It's not decided by applause or criticism. It's carved out in your choices, your integrity, your quiet resolve to do what's right even when it's hardest. So yes, tune out the haters, not with pride, not with anger, but with the quiet confidence of someone who knows their values and lives them fully. Because that's the kind of presence the world needs. Not louder voices, but steadier hearts. And from that steady heart flows something even deeper: love. Ever met someone who seemed to light up the room without saying a word? That kind of energy isn't just charisma. It's love in action. Not romantic love, not conditional affection, but a genuine warmth, a silent generosity of spirit. It's noticing others, uplifting them, being the kind of person who makes people feel seen. Marcus Aurelius knew this too. He wrote that doing good, really doing it, is what brings us peace. There's no secret formula, just simple acts of care repeated daily, a kind word, a helping hand, a listening ear. And when you live this way, not to be admired, but to contribute, you create ripples. You become the light others lean toward, even on their darkest days. Life isn't always smooth. Sometimes it feels like it takes more strength to love than to guard yourself. And that's where Stoicism reveals its heart. Not in hardening us, but in softening us with courage. The courage to love even when it hurts. The strength to offer kindness, especially when it's not returned. So when the day weighs heavy, when people disappoint, when it feels easier to shut down, remember this: every encounter is your chance to be the love you wish you'd received. And in our next part, we'll deepen this even further, because there's one more Stoic insight that transforms how we show up in the world. And when life weighs heavy, that's the very moment to lean in, not pull back. To be even more generous with your love. Not by ignoring your feelings, but by transforming them into small, intentional acts that uplift both you and the people around you. This strategy, being full of love, isn't just about making others feel seen and valued. It's also about enriching your own experience of life. When you extend kindness, offer a warm smile, or simply listen with genuine attention, you're not just giving something, you're gaining something too. Connection, purpose, a sense that you're part of something bigger. And here's the beautiful twist: what you put out often finds its way back to you, especially when you need it most. So, take this Stoic truth to heart. Choose to be a beacon of warmth, empathy, and strength. You'll be amazed by how much more valued you feel by others, and most importantly, by yourself. It's a journey that starts now, not someday. A path that leads to a life richer in meaning, rooted in love. So hey, if this reminder warmed something inside you, why not pass it on? Like, share, or message someone who might need this today. Let's keep the chain of compassion flowing. Now, speaking of chains, let's break one of the most limiting ones we all carry: comparison. Imagine this: you're scrolling through your feed, face lit by your screen, watching everyone else's perfect life unfold. Exotic vacations, promotions, happy families, and suddenly, your life feels less. But here's your Stoic wake-up call. Hit pause. Theodore Roosevelt nailed it. Comparison is the thief of joy. And it's true. Comparing your messy behind the scenes to someone else's polished highlight reel is like running a race while staring sideways. You'll slow down, trip, maybe even fall. Not because you can't win, but because you're not looking where you're going. Marcus Aurelius invites us to go deeper. Why crave someone else's life when we don't even see their full story? We envy the title, not the trials. The success, not the sleepless nights. Flip the script. What if you lost everything and suddenly became that person? Odds are you'd find yourself missing your old life, the very one you doubted. This is perspective in action, a powerful Stoic shift. It's not about having the best of everything. It's about making the most of what's already yours. Seneca, through Epictetus, reminds us, enough is never enough for the one who thinks it's too little. Contentment isn't giving up. It's waking up to the richness you already hold. So take a moment now. Look around. Then look within. There's value here, not in stacking yourself against others, but in watering your own roots. And from that place of rooted gratitude, let's turn to what may be the most profound Stoic reminder of all, cherishing the ones we love while they're still here. Let's move into that now. Now pause and think back to the last real conversation you had with someone you love. Was it kind? Was it complete? Or were there words, harsh or heavy, left unsaid? Stoicism doesn't demand we dwell on mortality out of fear. It invites us to honor life by living it deliberately, fully, lovingly. Because the truth is, no one knows how many chances we really have. 1 minute you're postponing that dinner thinking you've got time. The next, you're longing for just one more moment. One more laugh. One more chance to say, you matter to me, so don't wait. Cherish now. Forgive while there's still time. Love without holding back. Send that message. Make that call. Hug a little longer. These are not small things. They're everything. Because in the grand mosaic of life, what truly lasts are these simple human connections. They are the strokes of color that turn a blank canvas into a masterpiece. Let's not wait for loss to teach us to treasure what we have. Yes, memento mori. Remember we all will die. But let that remembrance awaken something deeper. The will to live and love more vibrantly, with every breath, with every moment. As we close this journey through the wisdom of Stoicism, especially in how we relate to others, one truth shines through. Your strength lies not in controlling others, but in mastering yourself, in choosing clarity over chaos, love over pride, and peace over the need to prove anything. So if these insights, from Marcus Aurelius to your own reflections, have offered you new ways to meet life and people with steadiness and grace, mark this moment. Let it land. Take a deep breath. And if you feel moved, share this with someone navigating their own sea of relationships. You never know. Your action might be the light that guides them. And if you'd like to declare your growth, drop a simple yet powerful comment. I am growing daily, because that's what this journey is about. Not perfection, but progress. Not just surviving relationships, but thriving within them. Here's to walking forward, wiser, steadier, and fuller of heart. Until next time, stay grounded, stay open, and keep growing, and fellow Stoic.